Well, hello everyone. Happy Monday. It is digital host A.J. Wuest welcoming you all back to Before the 4, where I talk about 48's top stories before our 4 p.m. newscast. And if no matter where you're watching right now, you might be watching on Facebook Live. We do a live stream on Facebook Live. We also do one on YouTube, and we do one on the 48 live stream page if you have the app. But if you are new to Before the 4, I just want to welcome you. This is just a fun little interactive live stream where I go over some of the top stories, and I like to keep it fun, you know. So if you're watching right now, feel free to leave a comment. I can see if you do right here. But without further ado, I just want to thank you all for spending a little bit of your Monday afternoon with me. But now it is time we head into today's top stories. And starting things off this Monday with some national news, this morning the Supreme Court ruled for the first time ever that former U.S. presidents have broad immunity from prosecution. Now in today's 6-3 ruling, the decision has narrowed the criminal case against former President Donald Trump on charges of him trying to overturn the 2020 presidential election. This case is now returned to trial court to determine what is left of the indictment. Now, NBC's Alice Barr has the latest on this and how it impacts Trump's current criminal case. Let's take a listen.
The Supreme Court today ruling that former President Trump is immune from prosecution for some of his alleged conduct while he was in office, in a decision that is expected to bring more delays to the federal election interference case against him. The 6-3 decision, with all the liberal justices dissenting, sets a new standard crafted to apply to future presidents as well. The High Court ruled that presidents are not entitled to immunity from personal acts, but that some conduct that's closely tied to their core duties as president are off limits to prosecutors. That sets up the major question: what is official conduct and what is not? The case now goes back down to a lower court to sort that out. And the time that will take makes it highly unlikely the public will see a trial over whether former President Trump tried to illegally overturn the 2020 election results before the upcoming election this November. That in itself is a big win for the former president, whose legal team had sought delays. And on social media today, he called this a big win, while a senior advisor to the Biden campaign said that the ruling does not change the facts, arguing that former President Trump snapped when he lost the 2020 election. It is possible there will still be a hearing before the November election that would lay out potentially some of the evidence that could be used at trial. In Washington, I'm Alice Barr. Back to you.
Thank you, Alice. Certainly something to keep an eye on. And 48's Matthew King has been speaking with people here in North Alabama on what they think about today's Supreme Court decision. So make sure you stick around to hear what people are saying, as well as what some lawmakers here in Alabama are saying, coming up at 4. And speaking of the Supreme Court, it also recently ruled that it is not unconstitutional for cities, states, and counties to create anti-camping laws. Now, these ordinances could ban sleeping bags, cardboard, and people sleeping on benches in public spaces. 48's Callie Canese has been speaking with city leaders here in Huntsville and what the Supreme Court's ruling could mean for the homeless here. So make sure you all stick around for that. And now let me pull this bad boy back up for you all. Now, this is a very sad story that happened today in Harvest, where we learned that a missing child who was found in a body of water has died. Now, Madison County officials say a 5-year-old body succumbed to his injuries last night. According to Don Webster with HIMSI, the boy was reported missing just after 7 p.m. last night. He was later found 90 minutes later in a body of water near Loganberry Lane. He was taken to the hospital where he was later pronounced dead. Now, the investigation into this case remains ongoing, but 48's Aria Pond, she has been in Harvest today speaking with the victim's family. So stick around for tonight's newscast to hear what the family had to say about this truly horrific situation. And now a wild story out in Decatur. Police are asking for your help to find a 13-year-old boy who was last seen on Saturday. The family of 13-year-old Chevy Powers, that is who you see on screen there, says he was last seen on Modaish Road Southwest on Saturday. According to Powers' mother, he drove off in a U-Haul truck. Now that truck has since been found, but officials are still searching for the boy. He is 5'6", 140 pounds, has brown hair and blue eyes. Anyone with information regarding this case is asked to contact the Decatur Police Department. And 48 Savannah Sapp, she will be bringing you the latest on the Keith Sullivan Stand Your Ground hearing that is going on in DeKalb County. If you all remember, this is the story where the Grove Oak man who was charged with murder requested immunity after deputies say he killed his neighbor back in 2023. Sullivan, who was charged, claimed self-defense and that his neighbor, Gregory Bagwell, had a history of violence, arson, and drug use. This hearing is expected to wrap up soon, so stick around for any updates Savannah might have on this story. Now, in case you missed it, city leaders in Lawrence County are looking to add a new law to the books. The leash law comes after 83-year-old Willard Norton was attacked and killed by two dogs out in the Shoals just a month ago. 48's Daquan Lee has the latest on this new law. Let's listen.
It's been almost a month since two dogs attacked and killed 83-year-old Willard Norton in Lawrence County. Tuesday, county commissioners will have the opportunity to add a leash law to the books. County Commissioner Ahmad Martin says this has been a long time coming.
As of right now, we just have a policy that was passed back in 2018 by the county commission that only allows the animal control office pretty much just to pick up stray dogs.
Martin says he hasn't spoken with Norton's family since his death, but he's had those close to him reach out in support of the new leash law. He hopes the other commissioners will make this vote quick and easy because he believes it'll keep homeowners accountable when their pets aren't properly confined. Martin was with the sheriff's office for 25 years, and he says he's dealt with his fair share of loose animals.
We've had dealings with dogs and vicious dogs, and there was nothing that we could do due to the fact because there was not a leash law in effect. And we're hoping that the county commission, the rest of the county commission, will get on board and pass this leash law come Tuesday morning.
If the leash law passes, Martin says he'll set his sights on improving the animal shelter next.
Well, thank you, Daquan. Now allow me to introduce to you all an incredible North Alabama athlete. His name is Grayson Townsend, and he's only 13 years old. Grayson is getting ready to head out to Salt Lake City, Utah, to compete in the Youth National Rock Climbing Competition. We were able to land him in the station today before he went out west. So let's take a listen.
I don't feel like there's so much pressure on me because only people from this division really know who I am. So if I don't do my best, it won't be such a big deal as if I didn't do my best in divisionals. So it feels good not being put on a ton of pressure, but I am hoping to kind of make a name for myself in the new community that has enlarged, so I'm excited.
Yeah. How does it feel for you being the first climbing team athlete from the Huntsville-Madison area to qualify for an event like this?
It feels amazing. I really hope that whoever's seeing this is going to learn from this and might also try something new. It might not be rock climbing, but it might be another sport, so it makes me really excited.
Exactly. Do you have any advice for younger climbers, like people like me who's gone once and failed miserably?
Yeah, so basically just in the beginning, it'll feel really hard. Start off really easy, work your way up. I mean, if I could tell my past self this advice, I think it would really help because I kind of would lean towards other stuff, just having fun and not really pushing myself, but now I'm trying to push myself every time I go.
That's a great way to get better. Absolutely. So what does it take to be an excellent climber?
It just really takes commitment like anything else. You have to be committed to train. You have to be committed to train your weaknesses, especially. Like, if you're not good at power pull-ups, you got to train that. So you just have to really stick to it for multiple years. Even if you're not seeing the results that you want, they'll come eventually. And if they don't, you can always have it as like a side hustle that you'll give every couple of days or something. I'll add one more thing.
Yeah.
Try to find someone who will push you. For me, I have a lot of my older friends will push me. I have a coach that I really enjoy, and I feel like they just push me every time I go. So if you're in any sport, just try to find someone who's around your skill level. You guys just need to keep pushing each other, and then you might see something change in you or that other person. So, yeah.
That is some awesome advice, right? Such an incredibly smart kid, and he was definitely teaching me a thing or two there. I wish him the best of luck at this national competition. And staying in sports, HydroFest on Lake Guntersville officially wrapped up this weekend. If you couldn't make it or took a rain check, but still want to know how it went, well, you're certainly in luck because 48's Cam Durr is on your side.
They call it NASCAR on water. HydroFest has crossed the finish line here on Lake Guntersville. Welcome in, everyone. I'm Cam Durr. So Alabama, home to Talladega Superspeedway, the fastest stop on the NASCAR Cup Series. But it's also home to the fastest waters in the game. And in this weekend, it brought in the world's fastest boats, all aiming to start out the H1 Unlimited Series with a win in the race for the Southern Cup.
That was a close start, but I think it was legal.
So a new starting procedure this year, one that required a game plan. And when I spoke with drivers all week long, they told me that it was the start that would make or break the finish. And Andrew Tate in the U91 Miss Goodman real estate boat aced the start, leaving the rest of the pack to play catch-up. And he never looked back. 5 laps, no lead changes. Andrew Tate dominates in Guntersville, taking home his second Southern Cup trophy, his first since 2018.
Wanted to stay clean and hit the line rolling. I mean, it's a timed start. You got to be there at 0 with as much boat speed as possible, and that's really what it came down to. We were able to dictate the race course and choose our line and where we wanted to go, and it's the start sometimes is unfortunately the most exciting and important part, but we nailed it today. It's nice to get the monkey off the back with a brand new team at Goodman Real Estate and Miss Madison, and it's nice to do it here in Alabama, Guntersville. It's really great to be here.
And most drivers agreed that Lake Guntersville, one of their favorite stops on the year. And here's why.
Lake Guntersville is awesome. Usually you have smooth water, so the smoother the water, usually the faster the boats go. The big turns, we really don't lose that much speed. It's if we were looking at NASCAR, we'd be considered like our Talladega. It's a super speedway. You put the pedal down and essentially fly the boat with the wing.
Well, from water to air, kind of. Huntsville native Javon Harrison will compete in the 2024 Paris Olympics. He finished 4th overall this afternoon, getting some air, clearing a 7-foot, 4.25-inch high jump by over 2 meters. But despite not placing in the top 3, Javon lives up to the Olympic standards and makes his return to the Olympic Games. They will all get underway July 26th. Cam Durr, 48 Sports, on your side.
Very, very nice. And I see Roberta Smart just commented. Congratulations, Andrew. Also, how are you doing, Roberta? Everything going well? But yes, congrats, Andrew. Now let's head into some state news. Let me pull it up for you right here. A new platform is now in place for workers to get involved in the construction industry. Recently, Go Build Alabama launched their brand new job board, which simplifies the job application process for both career seekers and employers. Bethany Davis at our partners at WSFA in Montgomery recently spoke with Jason Phelps. He's the executive director of the Alabama Construction Recruitment Institute. And let's take a listen to what he had to say about the new platform.
Well, employers can go on there and sign up. They have to be an Alabama licensed commercial or industrial contractor. That's one of the things that's going to make this board super unique. There's not going to be a lot of other stuff on there. It's just going to be Alabama licensed contractors and their jobs. They can go on there, apply, they'll get verified by our staff that they are a licensed contractors, and they'll be able to post jobs. For the job seeker or the career seeker, it's really easy. They just have to put in some directory information, verify an email address so we can make those connections, and then if they choose to, they can upload a resume and do a cover letter or cover note or something like that.
Also, make sure you remember the hands-free driving law is now fully in effect. Huntsville police can now issue tickets for people they see on their phones or electrical device while driving. 1 month ago, 48's Daquan Lee spoke with people here in the Huntsville area on their thoughts on the new hands-free driving law, and let's listen to what they all said.
The hands-free law is meant to cut down on distracted drivers. According to ALDOT, a texting driver has 23 times the risk of crashing their car than someone who isn't. Everyone I talked with believes the intentions of the law are good.
I think it's probably a good thing overall, keeping distracted driving to a minimum.
In a way, it's a good thing because, you know, it is a problem to be distracted while driving. Motor vehicles are dangerous. They're some of the most dangerous things that we all do in our daily lives.
For this state law, using your phone while driving is a secondary offense, meaning you must be seen committing another traffic offense to get a ticket, unless a city or county passes a stricter ordinance like what we saw in Huntsville. In the Rocket City, beginning in July, the city's own hands-free law goes into effect, making using your phone a primary offense. People I spoke with have mixed opinions on it.
If I'm moving my hand from the holder that I use it for navigation to the center console, do I automatically get a ticket? And what about the guy who's eating a burger, drinking a Coke, and steering with his knee? You know, are they going to give that guy a ticket? So I think that they need to observe the driving as opposed to what just happens to be going on.
I know I've driven like loaner vehicles, rental cars, where they put like the AC controls, the audio volume all in the screen. But that's not, you know, that wouldn't be an offense to be typing on the screen or like putting whatever in trying to change the AC.
Others thought the city law could even lead to conflict.
I think it may lead to more altercations and folks being frustrated by being pulled over and maybe lead to some, you know, maybe altercations with folks that they're not necessarily expecting to, putting officers in a bad place.
Well, thank you, Daquan. Now let's head into the stories you're just not going to want to miss. A Coast Guard rescue on Dauphin Island, changes coming to ambulances in Decatur, the latest on Hurricane Beryl, and a firefighter in Virginia celebrating 75 years of service. These are all stories you're just not going to want to miss in tonight's newscast. Now I believe it is time for Facebook Fun. And if you're new to Before the Four, welcome to Facebook Fun, where we like to close out Before the Four. Today's question, and we ask this question typically around midday. We have one question per day, and you all typically respond very accordingly. And we had some really good responses on this post today. But our question was, how are you staying cool this summer? I don't think I'm really staying that cool this summer. It's not very easy to do with this weather. But let's see how you all are staying cool. Let's see. Tisha Graham said lots of pool time. Cannot blame you for that. I don't think there's a better way to cool off than to just jump in the pool real quick. But thank you so much for commenting. Let's see, Joshua King, he said lots of water and watermelon and other juicy fruits. Very, very nice. Lots of water, got to stay hydrated. Watermelon, any kind of cold, juicy fruits like that will definitely cool you off. Yeah, Joshua, that's a great way to stay cool. Thank you for commenting. And let's see. Christy Campbell said, in front of her fans. Very nice. Of course, there's no better way to stay cool than in front of your fans. But Christy, thank you so much for commenting. But that is just about all the time I have in today's Before the Four. I want to thank you all for sticking around with me and spending a little bit of your Monday afternoon with me. If you haven't done so already, make sure you download the 48 Digital app along with the 48 First Alert Weather app and turn those push notifications on and get the breaking news brought straight to you. And of course, we are launching a brand new 48 Sports app this month. So make sure you stay tuned for that. Some big stuff lies ahead. But with that, that is all the time I have. I want to thank you for watching. Y'all have a great night.